So hello everyone, welcome to this hour-long rocket yoga practice. We're going to start the practice today in a child's pose. So start to come onto your knees. Bring them a good mat width distant apart. Big toes together, and then walk your hands forwards to allow your forehead to rest all the way down to the floor. And as you get there, close your eyes. But just start to check in with your body and check in with your breath. Now, if child's pose doesn't feel quite right for your knees or your hips today, you can always pop a cushion or a block in that space between your bottom and your heels, or you could come up into more of a puppy pose where the bottom stacks over the knees and the heart space drops down. So just make sure that you're as comfortable as you can be, and that the forehead is grounded down to something. So if it doesn't reach the floor, you could pile your hands one on top of the other so that your forehead can rest down comfortably and so that your neck can fully relax. And take a moment here, closing your eyes, turning your gaze inwards. So checking in with how you're feeling today. What kind of sensations are you experiencing in your body, and where are you experiencing them? Are you generally feeling very open and spacious in the body? Or are you experiencing quite a lot of discomfort, of tension? And as you observe those sensations, is it possible to just see them for what they are, trying our best not to label them as positive or negative? And once you've scanned through the physical body, starting to become more aware of how you're feeling through your subtle energies, checking in on your mood. Checking in on the pace of thoughts moving through your mind. And then finally checking in on your breath. If you haven't already, allow your inhales to deepen until you're breathing to your fullest capacity. And allow your exhales to grow longer and fuller too. If you're someone who works with Ujjayi breath, then maybe you're bringing a restriction into the back of the throat, so the breath becomes a little bit more audible. And can you allow the sound of your breath to silence or at least quieten the chit-chat of your mind? So beginning our practice from a place of clarity. And really listening into our body, what our body's saying to us. And starting off our practice in child's pose is always a really lovely reminder that we can come back to this posture whenever we need to. So almost just imprinting child's pose into our muscle memory, knowing that it's in our practice toolkit to pull out if ever we need to take a rest and take a breath, and to come back to this space of clarity a space of softness. Turning your gaze down toward your heart space and just asking yourself what your intention for the practice this morning is. So see what comes up for you today. Is it a certain person? Is it a cause? Or could it be yourself? And if it's you that kind of needs to fill up your cup today, it's not selfish at all to set yourself as your intention. Final couple of deep breaths here, relaxing the shoulders, softening into the jaw. Moving with intention this morning, intention to stay connected to our breath. And then when you're ready, reach the hands out in front of you. Take a nice big stretch out through the arms, come up onto the fingertips and lift the elbows away from the floor. Take a moment to simply press your seat as far back toward the heels as you possibly can. And we'll take a side stretch to each side. So deep breath in. And on your exhale, walk your hands over to the right side of your mat so that you can feel an opening through the left side of your body. Start to breathe into that space. And you might even want to spread the palms and pile the left hand on top of the right. Now relax the shoulders, keeping the eyes closed perhaps, forehead either connected down to the floor or maybe just hovering an inch or so away. Can you soften into the left side body a little bit further to open up that space a bit more? One more big breath in. Exhale, walk the hands all the way over to the left side of your mat now, coming into your second side. If you want to deepen the side stretch, pile the right hand on top of the left and really ground the sit bones back toward the heels as much as you can to create as much space through the right side of your body. Again, see if you can keep the periphery of the body soft, the jaw, the shoulders. Allow them to relax. Breathing in, walk the hands all the way back to the center and then slowly walk them towards you, lifting up through the torso. And we're going to tuck under the toes from here. So bring the fingertips out to the mat in front of you, curl your toes under and sit back onto your heels. Make sure your little toe is tucked under as well, if that's possible for you. And this will start to intensify relatively quickly. So if it gets too much, you just untuck the toes and sit back onto the heels or find a comfortable seated position. So this morning we're going to warm up our wrists and forearms in our screaming toe position from here. So I'd like you to bring the arms out in front with the palms facing down toward the floor. Now start to get into your deep breath. Open and close your hands as quickly as you can, and I'll continue to count you down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands above the head, keep it going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms out to the side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms out in front. This time turn the palms to sky. And again, keep going, opening and closing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms above the head. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms out to the side. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Give it a good shake out. Bring the hands down to the floor, untucking the toes and just patting the tops of the feet onto the floor to feel that really nice release for the feet. Well done. So when you're ready, find some stillness through the legs. We'll turn the fingertips to face outwards on the mat, and then just very gently begin to rock from left to right. So continuing to warm up the wrists. So see if you can move with your breath. Inhale to go one way, exhale back in the opposite direction. Keeping the palms of the hands completely flat to the floor. So try not to lift the heels of the hands up and away as you take your gentle sway from side to side. Looking straight down so the back of the neck is long. Good. Okay, come back to the center. Continue to spiral your hands round. So fingertips will point back toward the knees, or if the rotation in your arms doesn't take it that far, the hands might still be pointing out to the side slightly. That's absolutely fine. And you're going to take your rocks now forwards and backwards. So try and work in time with your breath if possible. Inhale to come forwards, exhale to come backwards. The palms are completely flat to the mat. The heels of the hands remain connected. And check in that the breath is still diaphragmatic. It's still going all the way down into the belly. Okay, well done. Gently start to come back to stillness. Spiral the hands around the correct way and sit back onto the heels. This time the toes are untucked. Interlace your fingers and just take a few little rotations out through the wrists. If it feels nice to give the hands a good shake out as well, please feel free to do so. And from there, we'll start to make our way back onto all fours. So going to come into a high plank variation this morning. So stretch your legs out behind you, tuck under your toes, and have a sense that the inner thighs are really squeezing in here, belly buttons drawing to spine. Now press down through the palms and really round up between the shoulder blades. Take a really deep breath in. On your exhale, see if you can float the right toes away from the floor, just a couple of inches, and pull up through the right kneecap, point through the right toes so the leg is super, super active. Now you can stay here if you're taking it a little bit further. Come first onto the fingertips of the left hand, and then maybe see if it's possible to float your left hand away from the floor. So you're stretching through the left fingertips, nice big breaths. I know it's a super, super wobbly one here, but try and stay with it. Stay with the breath. Keep your gaze on one still spot. 3, 2, and 1. Replace the hands and feet down to the floor. Take a big breath in. Straight to the second side. Exhale, lift the left toes away. So really pointing through left toes, pulling up through the kneecap, draw in the tummy. And now come first up onto the fingertips of the right hand. And you can either stay there or maybe see if it's possible to float the right hand away. So the arms alongside your ear. Gaze is steady, breath is deep. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Gently replace the feet, the hands to the floor. Send the bottom up and back and take a nice downward facing dog from here. So spread your palms nice and wide. Relax your neck. Head is nice and heavy. Looking back toward the feet and maybe just pedaling the feet out on the mat. Creating a little bit of space through the hamstrings, through the calves. And if you need to take a wiggle through the shoulders or maybe even the hips, then feel free to do so here. Just freestyle the movement, start to feel your body warming up. Well done. Begin to find stillness through your feet. On your next inhalation, ripple the upper body forwards into your high plank once more, drawing belly button to spine. On the exhale, lower both knees down to the floor, half chaturanga. Squeeze the elbows tight to side ribs and begin to lower your chest down to the mat as slowly as you can, like you're moving through treacle. Once your belly touches all the way down, inhale to Cobra Pose. Roll the shoulders away from the ears as you lift up through the chest. Tops of the feet press into the floor. There's a sense that you're energetically drawing the heart space toward the wall in front of you. Another big breath in. Exhale, come down. Curl the toes under, press up and back to find downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in. Full exhale, let it go. Good. Inhale, stretch your right leg toward the sky. Hold it there in three-legged dog and try and roll the outer right hip down to the ground. That way you'll feel a deeper opening through the back of your left leg. Keep spreading the hands wide, and let's try and keep the distribution of weight equal in both hands here as we begin to take the right leg out to the right side. So I'd like you to kind of, as you look up at your legs, you'll see them in almost like a capital L shape. So holding it there, flexing through right foot, pull up through the kneecap again so the leg is as straight as it can be. Equal weight distribution through both hands. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend to the right knee, heel moves to butt, and then take two massive circles with the knee just to mobilize the hip joint. Once you've taken those two circles in one direction, reverse it, take it back in the opposite direction. Good, and after your two big hip circles in both directions, look forwards and step your right foot between your hands. Give it a helping hand through if you need. Lower the back knee down to the floor. Inhale, low lunge, reach up through your arms. Now as you exhale, squeeze your bottom, sink a little bit lower into the front knee to find a deeper opening for your left hip flexor. Relax your shoulders. Deep breath in, full breath out. One more. Exhale, hands touch down to the mat, step back to high plank. Lowering down through full or half chaturanga if you prefer. Elbows hug to side ribs. Inhale forwards to cobra or lift the shins and the thighs for upward facing dog. And exhale back into downward facing. Okay, second side. Inhale, left leg stretches high. Find three-legged dog. Roll the outer left hip down toward the floor so that we're really feeling a nice deep opening for the right hamstring. Now, think about what's going on in the hands. Try and spread the weight evenly between both palms. Big inhale. Exhale, left leg comes out to the left side, hovering there. So as you gaze back towards your legs, you should see that they're kind of in a capital L shape here. Flex through left toes, pull up through the kneecap, really, really strong and straight legs. Deep breaths in, full breaths out. Okay, gently bend the left knee, heel moves to butt. Take two massive circles with the knee, starting to mobilize the hip joint, and then reverse those circles in the opposite direction. Good. After your two circles in each direction, look forwards, step your left foot between your hands, give it a helping hand to take it there if you need. Back knee lowers, inhale, arms reach up high. Big breath in. Exhale, sink down into the front knee, squeezing through your glutes, relax the shoulders. Active hands, spread the palms wide, spread the fingers wide. Inhale, full breath out. Another big breath in. Exhale, hands touch down to the floor. This time, look to the top edge of the mat and let's step all the way to the top of the mat. As you arrive there, bring the hands onto the shins, halfway lift, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, forward fold over your legs and soften into your knees to get contact between belly and thighs. Breathe in, stretch the arms above the head, look up toward your thumbs as you reach. Exhale, hands to prayer position at your heart center. Take a moment here. Deep breath in, full breath out. Come back to your intention, come back to your deep breath. If the low back is feeling a little bit tweaky today, keep the feet hip distance, otherwise step the feet side by side. Sun salute B. Inhale, bend your knees, reach up through the arms to find Utkatasana, chair pose. Curling under the tailbone, belly draws in. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, hands to floor, step or hop back into high plank and take it through your half or full chaturanga. Breathe into cobra or lift the thighs and shins for up dog. And then breathe out into downward facing dog. Send the bottom high, moving at your own speed. On your next inhalation, turn the back heel in slightly. Step your right foot between your hands, warrior one. Reach up through the arms. Soften into the front knee a little bit further. Press the outer edge of the back foot into the floor. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hands to the mat. Step back to high plank and lower down through half or full chaturanga. Inhale forwards, cobra or up dog, lift the chest. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step the back foot in slightly. Left foot steps between the hands. Reach up, finding warrior one on the second side. Draw the outer right hip round as you sink into the front knee. Big breath in. Exhale, touch the hands down to the floor, step back to high plank, moving through your vinyasa in time with your breath. So really controlling the length of your movements. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Deep breaths in, full breaths out. Relax the neck, let the head be nice and heavy here. Well done. Inhale, soften your knees, look to the hands. Step, hop or float to the top of your mat. As you arrive there, find your flat back, hands to shins, lengthen through spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Bend your knees and reach your arms up alongside the ears. Tailbone tucks under. Exhale, hands to prayer position at heart center. Good, one more. Inhale, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, reach up through the arms. Exhale, forward fold over your thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to floor, step or hop back into high plank. Move through your vinyasa with control in time with your breath. Moving back into downward facing dog. And then on your next inhalation from there, step right foot between the hands, warrior one. Reach up through the fingertips. On your next exhale, hands to floor, step back high plank and lower with control. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing. Next, inhale, step your left foot forwards for warrior one, reach up through your arms. And then exhale, hands touch down to the floor, stepping back to high plank, moving through your vinyasa. This time, as you find your way back into downward facing dog, pause there, taking 3 enormous breaths. Relax your head. Head is super, super heavy. Hands are spreading wide. Turn your gaze inwards and breathe all the way down into your belly. You don't have to take every vinyasa today. Remember, you can always come into child's pose or just skip the vinyasa if you prefer. Inhale, soften knees, look forward, step, hop or float to the top of the mat, lengthen the spine into flat back. Exhale, forward fold over your thighs. Inhale, Utkatasana, bend the knees, sweep the arms up alongside the ears. This time, hold it here. Sit the weight back into your heels, curl under your tailbone and see if it's possible just to sink a little bit lower into the knees. Arms are nice and long alongside the ears. Take another big breath in. Now on your exhale, come lower. See if you can take your torso to rest down onto your thighs. Fingertips reach forwards, bottom reaches back. We're almost making a nice tabletop shape with the upper body here. Look down toward the toes, back of the neck is long. Keep sitting the weight back into your heels. Big breath in, full breath out. One more. Exhale, hands touch down to the floor, forward fold. Now ensure the feet are a good hip distance apart here. Going to take first 2 fingers and thumbs, wrap them around the big toes, breathe in and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bend your elbows wide and draw the upper body forwards over your thighs, relaxing your shoulders. Make sure the weight is more toward the toes than the heels. There's a sense that the tailbone is being lengthened up toward the ceiling. In the thighs, almost spinning inwards slightly. Couple more nice big breaths here, keeping that connection between torso and thighs. Really don't worry about having straight legs here. Inhale, halfway lift, chest rises. Exhale, bend your knees, get both hands down onto the floor. Now you're either going to stay here with the knees bent and moving in toward the armpits, or if you know that it's possible to come into Bakasana, crow pose, look toward the top edge of the mat, come up onto the balls of the feet and start to take the knees toward the armpits or toward the upper arms. Transferring the weight toward the hands, and then maybe seeing if it's possible to lift the toes away from the floor. It might be that you're lifting one foot at a time, and that's fine. It might be that you float both feet away at the same time. Make sure you're not jumping into it. You're simply just taking the weight more towards your fingertips, and that will help you to transfer the weight forwards and the toes to lift. Take one more big breath in. And then on your exhale, stepping or floating back into your high plank and moving through your vinyasa with your breath. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and a full exhale. Let it go. On your next inhalation, stretch your right leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, step your right foot to the outer edge of your right hand. Side angle pose. So ground the back heel down to the floor and then inhale the left arm high. Now this might be too much if the hips are feeling tight today. So feel free to bring the right forearm onto right thigh if you prefer. Inhale, look underneath the left armpit to spiral heart space open toward the ceiling. Take your nice deep breaths here. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Nice, strong legs. Good. Taking it into triangle pose. Lengthen through the right arm and start to press through the front foot to lengthen through the right leg. Feel that strength and stretch through both sides of your body. Big breaths in, full breaths out. Inhale. Exhale, look down toward the front big toe, soften into the front knee, and then come all the way up to the top. Re-straighten the right leg, reverse the arms. Right arm comes alongside the ear, left fingertips toward the back leg, and then starting to take a side stretch toward the back of the room. Again, turn your gaze underneath the right armpit. Draw the belly in. So remember, this is a side stretch, not a back bend, so really engage the tummy here. Another big inhale into the right side body. And then breathe out, spiral the hands either side of your front foot, come up onto the ball of the back foot and step it in slightly. So we're shortening the stance for pyramid pose. You could bring both hands onto the front shin, or if it's okay to touch the floor with the hands, keep them there. Breathe in, lengthen through your spine, and then breathe out and forward fold over your right leg. Explore the pose further by wrapping the left outer hip forwards and gently drawing the right hip crease back slightly. So by squaring the hips toward the top of the mat, we'll find a deeper opening for the back of our right leg. Listen into your deep breath. One more. Inhale, lift the chest, look to the top edge of the mat, start to creep the fingertips further forwards and lift the left leg high into a standing split. This left leg could be in line with the hip, otherwise stretch the toes up toward the ceiling. Wherever the leg is, pull up through the thigh and point through the toes, nice and active. Now you can either stay here just breathing into your standing split. If you want to take a couple of little kicks up to handstand, press the hands down into the floor, begin to transfer the weight toward the fingertips, and then take a couple of little hops. Good. Meeting our neighbors back in standing split. Step to the back of the mat to find high plank and take it through your vinyasa at your own pace. Meeting back in downward facing dog, taking a moment or two to reconnect with your breath. Again, checking in. Are you breathing louder than the sound of your own thoughts? Next, inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, left foot to outer edge of left hand. Ground the back heel down to the floor, moving into your side angle. Reach the right arm up toward the ceiling. So if it's too much on the hip to have this left hand on the floor, bring your forearm to the thigh. And wherever you are, think about really revolving the whole of the heart space open toward the ceiling. And if you look up toward the right thumb, you'll have that intention of opening into that space. Active top arm. Legs super, super strong. And there's core engagement here to help lift the chest away from the front thigh. Let's take it into triangle. So re-extend the left arm, start to press into your left heel so that the front leg straightens. Keep the upper body revolving skyward. Breathing here. Pull up through your kneecaps, press the mat away with your heels. Inhale fully. Exhale, look down toward the front foot, soften into the front knee and rise all the way up to the top. Reverse triangle, so straighten the front leg, right hand to back thigh, left arm alongside your ear. Turn your gaze underneath the left armpit and move your breath into the left side body. Relax your jaw. Two more big breaths here. See if you can create a little bit more length through the left side waist. Good, gently rise up. Spiral the hands either side of your front foot. Come onto the ball of your back foot and then step it in just to shorten your stance a little bit. Feet can come hip distance apart here. If the floor feels far away, bring your hands onto the front shin. Wherever you are, breathe in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold over your extended leg. Upper body hangs heavy. Shoulders relax. Again, think into the alignment of the hips. So take your awareness there. Think of the outer right hip wrapping forwards and the left hip crease moving back slightly. Long through the back of your neck. Directing the breath into the back of your left leg to encourage a little bit more room there. Inhale, lift the chest, look forwards. Walk the hands a little bit further forwards of your front foot and reach up through the back leg. So remember, it doesn't have to point up toward the ceiling. You could go halfway or you can reach up all the way. And you can pause here, finding your standing split. Or if you want to, again, play around with a couple of little handstand hops, spread the palms, look to the space just between your thumbs, and then start to kick the top leg up. Meeting our neighbors back in standing split, step back into high plank, exhale, come down through your vinyasa. Meet back in downward facing dog, unclench your jaw, relax through your shoulders, deep breath in, full exhale, let it go. Inhale, stretch right leg to sky. Exhale, step right foot between your hands. Easy twisting lunge. Inhale, right arm reaches up toward the ceiling. Keep the inner thighs squeezing in here. We're going to stay in this twisted pose as we press through the front heel and rise up into a twisted high lunge. Reach out through your fingertips. Nice big breaths in and full breaths out. Well done. Bring the hands to prayer position at your heart center. See if you can hook the left elbow over the right thigh. Press the palms to revolve through your chest. If this is a bit too much, don't worry. Lower the back knee down to the floor if you need to. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, twist. Two more big breaths here, massaging out all our internal organs. Good, let's begin to release. So from here, I'd like you to spiral the back heel down to the floor, turn the right toes in, so you're in a nice wide leg stance. Take a big breath in, reach the arms above your head, and exhale, forward fold. So the fingertips are reaching down toward the mat. Again, if they don't quite touch, you could bring your hands onto the front shins. Otherwise, you're going to tuck chin to chest and forward fold, crown of the head descending down toward the floor. If the hands are completely flat to the mat, walk your fingertips back in line with your toes and hug the inner elbows toward one another. You have the option here to transfer up into a tripod headstand if that's in your practice. Deep breaths in and full breaths out. So if you're in your forward fold, think about bringing the weight toward your toes rather than your heels, and press down through the outer edges of your feet to really lift up through the inner arches. If you took it up into a headstand, gently lowering your feet down to the floor with control. And then we'll move back into our forward fold. Just inhale, lengthen up through the chest. And on your exhale, walk your hands around either side of your front foot and lower your back knee down to the floor. Moving into a half split from here. So lengthening through the right leg. I always like to shuffle the right foot a little bit further forwards to get the leg straight. Breathe in, lift up through your chest. Again, exhale, wrap the outer left hip forwards as you fold. Tuck chin to chest, breathing into the back of your right leg. Unclench your jaw. If you know that you have more space in your split, please feel free to shuffle your way a little bit deeper. You're always welcome to use props or blocks or cushions underneath you just to support you if you're not all the way down to the floor. Wherever you are, wherever your maximum is for today, just close off your eyes as you get there and take your awareness to your breath. Have a moment just to sink into the pose. Forgetting about what you think the pose should look like, where you think you should be. Just be where you are now and breathe. Two more really nice deep breaths. Well done. Now from here, if you've taken it slightly deeper into your split, take a moment or two just to shuffle the legs a little bit closer. And when you're ready, sweep the right leg out behind, find your way to high plank and move through your vinyasa in time with your breath. Find your way back into downward facing dog, or take a child's pose for a few breaths if you prefer. We're going to take it up into dolphin pose, maybe a couple of kicks up to forearm balance. You don't have to do it, stay in downward facing dog if you prefer. So take a nice big inhale in your down dog. And if you're moving into dolphin, exhale, lower both elbows down to the floor at the same time. Now, once they touch down, just wiggle the elbows slightly closer toward one another. You can either keep the forearms parallel, or if you prefer, interlace your fingers here. Start to walk your toes slightly closer toward the elbows and really strongly press the mat away with your forearms. If you'd like to here, inhale, reach your right leg to sky, and then maybe see if you can take a little hop or two up into a forearm balance. If not, you're staying with the right leg, reaching up toward the ceiling, breathing in your dolphin. Remember that the head is off the floor in this variation. Good, lower right leg down to the floor, step back, find your way into downward facing dog. Deep breath in, full exhale, relax your neck. Good, inhale, left leg to sky. Now step your left foot between your hands. Easy twisting lunge, inhale, left arm reaches up toward the ceiling. Now really strong through the inner thighs, squeeze them together. Press through the front foot and come up into that twisted high lunge. Well done. Take a big breath here. Coming into our twisted lunge, right elbow crosses over the left knee. Bring the palms of the hands together, press them firmly and begin to revolve through your chest. If you're wobbly, don't worry. Lower the back knee down to the floor and breathe here. Two more. Well done. Let's take it into our wide leg forward fold. So unravel through the spine, walking the hands to the long edge of the mat, swiveling round through the heels. So take a moment, get that nice wide stance, breathe in, stretch your arms up, and then exhale, moving all the way into your fold. So this time I'd like you to keep your fingertips on the floor underneath the shoulders. Take your legs slightly wider, Alex. It might be a bit easier for you to take a wider stance. Okay, and now from here, you have the option to start to heel toe the feet wider and wider and wider. So we're moving more into like a box split. So you're just pausing when you meet your maximum. It could be that you're staying up on the hands. You might be able to bring the forearms down to the floor. Just see what feels best for you today. Rock the weight forwards toward the toes. And when you get into that space, relax the neck and just start to breathe into the inner groins. It's very easy to come too deeply into this pose too soon. So try and listen to your body as much as you can. It's better to kind of stay a little bit outside of your maximum, breathe, and then move slightly deeper than it is to go completely to your maximum on the first breath and then feel like you want to get out. So try and stay with your breath, try and stay with your body. Doesn't matter if the bottom doesn't get all the way down to the floor. It might get there one day, it might not. It really doesn't make much difference. Keep breathing. One more. If you're down on your forearms, make your way up onto your hands and let's all heel toe the feet in so that they come a little bit narrower again. Okay, now from here, walking the hands round either side of front foot, lower the back knee down, find your way into your half split. So the left leg straightens, shuffle that left heel a little bit further forward so that it can be poker straight, flex through your toes. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. And then breathe out, soften into the elbows as you start to fold over your extended leg. And take your time to come deeper into your full split or towards a full split if you'd like to, but you're welcome to stay in your half Hanuman if you prefer. Use props, use blocks, whatever you need. And when you get there, close your eyes. Sink into your breath, relaxing your jaw, softening through the shoulders. So if it feels too intense and the whole body feels like it's really resisting the posture, then just ease yourself out, come out slightly, get back into your breath, get into that kind of comfortable and steady space. And from there, allow yourself to move deeper. Remembering that the poses were made for our bodies, not our bodies for the poses. Two more. Okay, when you're done, just shuffling the feet so that they come slightly closer together. And then bring your hands down to the floor, step back to high plank, take your vinyasa or come straight back into child's pose or down dog. And then we'll all meet ourselves in downward facing dog, looking back toward the feet, make sure that they're spread hip distance apart, soften the shoulders, deep breath in, full exhale. Now on your next inhale, soften both knees, look toward your hands and step your feet outside of your hands. So nice wide stance with your feet. Taking a moment in Malasana, so bend the knees, lift up through the chest, hands to prayer. Now you might want to stay upright like this, but if it's possible to sink your bottom down toward the floor and take it nice and deep into your yogic squat, then feel free to do so. The elbows are on the inside of the thighs. Try not to really force the knees wide here. Just use the elbows to try and more lengthen up through the spine than push the knees wide. Good. Take 2 more really nice deep breaths into the hips. And then gently press down through the heels, come all the way up into standing. Good, give your legs a little bit of a shake out, have a breather. If you've got some water, maybe just grab a sip for a moment. So we're going to have a little look at moving into Firefly pose today, Tittibahsana. So this is a posture which is quite an advanced arm balance, but there's lots of different stages. So I'll demonstrate for you first, and then I'll take you through it a second time. You can join in with me on the second go. And there's something that everyone can do here. So it starts off in a forward fold and it just starts to progressively move a little bit deeper. Okay, so just watching me on the first round, the feet will be about mat width apart and the knees will soften. So we really want to get a nice bend in the knees and the upper body to hang forwards. So we're really relaxed in the upper body to begin with. And then from here, we're just going to simply start to walk our hands through our legs and look back toward the wall behind us. And as we do this, we're squeezing the knees into the outer edges of the shoulders. And it might be that you want to stay here today. If you're coming a little deeper, I always take hold of my ankles just to snuggle my shoulders a little bit further in towards the inner knees. And then from there, I take my hands down to the floor. So hopefully you can see that my hands are behind the line of my feet. As I start to bend my knees, the bottom sits lower and I'm able to take my weight back into my hands. So as I do that, really importantly, looking up and forwards, I can see if I can float my feet away from the floor. Might be just a couple of inches. First option is to cross the heels, float the feet away, making like a little swing. Second option, as you look forwards, is to start to float the feet away, press the legs into the backs of the arms and begin to work on straightening through the legs. Okay, that was not a very graceful dismount. All right, so let's move through that all together. And you just stop wherever you want to. So take the feet mat distance apart, feet are parallel. Soften into the knees, take a nice bend, deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, forward fold. And just let the torso be really, really heavy here. Relax the neck. Now from here, start to walk your hands through your legs, just as far as you comfortably can. If you're taking it slightly deeper, take hold of the backs of your ankles and see if you can snuggle your shoulders a little bit further toward the inner edges of the knees. From there, start to bend into the knees, hands come down to the floor. The fingertips are just behind the line of the heels. And as you bring your hands to the floor, you want to take the weight back toward the heels so the hands come flat. And the hands must come flat here to go any further. So you might just be working on that today. Now look forwards and up, and as the chest lifts, the heels might just automatically lift away from the floor. And from there, maybe you're seeing, can you press the legs into the backs of the arms, starting to straighten out through the legs. Good. Yes, Mum, well done. Excellent. Really, really nice, guys. Well done, Alex. Keep a bend in the elbows if you can. Well done. Yay! We have liftoff. All right, let's come down onto our seat. Well done. I'm so impressed with you all. That was fantastic. Okay, so when you're ready, coming to sit down, let's just take a little roll out for the wrists. I know it's quite intense for the wrists, that one, so give them a little roll about and then just shake the hands out a little way. Well done, well done. Okay, right, let's sit our bottom over to one side. Come into a nice twist from here. So either taking it into Ardha Matsyendrasana or Matsyendrasana. The legs stretch out in front, bend your right knee, cross the sole of the foot over the left thigh, And if it feels okay for the hip, you can also bend the bottom knee as well and just tuck the heel toward the outer hip. Now inhale your left arm up toward up towards the ceiling and start to revolve your heart space toward the side wall. From there, maybe you're hooking the left elbow across the right knee as you start to turn through the chest. If it's too much to hook, then hug the knee in towards you instead. Every breath in, think about getting as tall as you can through your spine. And with each out breath, soften into the belly, relax the shoulders, and just start to twist through your torso. Couple more enormous breaths here. Good, gently coming all the way to face the front. Re-lengthen the legs out along the floor, give them a little shake to release if you need. And then straight to second side, bend the left knee, cross the sole of the foot over the right leg, bending the bottom knee also, if that feels okay for you, otherwise keeping it long against the floor. Inhale, right arm high this time, twisting toward the left side, bringing the right elbow over the left knee. The fingertips of the left hand are on the floor, nice and close to your seat. So as you gently press down into the back fingertips, it's much easier to feel like you're lengthening up through the spine. And that way you don't feel like you're leaning the upper body back toward the wall behind you. You feel that stack of your shoulders over top of your hips. Couple more. Well done. Begin to unwind. Give your legs a good, well-deserved shake out and find your way onto your back when you're ready. So soles of the feet to the floor. Reach the hands forward slowly and gently, releasing yourself all the way down to the mat. And once you touch down, draw your knees towards your chest and we'll take it into happy baby to finish. So you might want to take hold of the backs of your thighs, but if you prefer, hold on to the ankles or maybe even the outer edges of your feet. Flex through your toes. Feel the back body pressing down into the mat. You're long through the spine. And close your eyes. If it feels natural for you to just take a gentle rock from left to right, feel free to do so. Otherwise, keep stillness through your body. Just breathing into that grounding sensation. Allow everything to unravel, everything to soften. Well done. And then gently release the hold on your feet. Find your way into final Shavasana Relaxation. If the low back is tweaky, come into Utkatasana with the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. Otherwise, lengthen your legs along the floor. If it helps you to feel more connected with your breath, take a hand onto your heart space and the opposite hand onto your belly. Let go of controlling your breath. Let go of your physical body. Give yourself permission to soften and let the energies of your body settle. All of that hard work that you did today, just assimilating into your muscles and your joints, and even deeper. Nothing else to do here and nowhere else to go. Just completely relax. So if you have a little longer for your Shavasana today, then please feel free to stay here as long as you can and soak it up. But if you know that you need to be making your way, then just bring awareness into your hands and your feet and gradually start to reintroduce some movement into those spaces. Maybe the fingers and toes wiggle. Maybe you take some rotations through the wrists and the ankles. And then when you're ready, stretch the arms all the way above the head. Full body stretch, lengthening out. Exhale, hug the knees towards you. Roll yourself over to one side. Just take a moment there, pausing. Maybe reconnecting with your intention. And then gently finding your way up to a comfortable seat. And as you get there, bring the hands to prayer position at your heart center. Bow your chin to your chest. And we'll seal the energy of our practice today with the sound of Om. So if you'd like to join me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Om. With gratitude for you all for joining me this morning, take your prayer hands up to the space between your eyebrows and lengthen. Peace in your thoughts. Take your prayer hands in front of your lips. Peace in your words. And finally, in front of your heart. Peace in your actions.